All right, welcome. How are we looking over there? Okay, let's see. Let me get my hair right here. Okay, that looks good. Let's see. I'm debating what medium we want to use. Well, that's a good question. Oh, let me turn on some different lights, Shelby. Hold on. All right, we'll get that one there. Turn this light on over here. Alright, that'll help a little bit. You're debating what medium to use. What do you got laying around? I once had a you want to hear a funny story? So I was this is a long time ago, but I remember it today. This was probably in 1987. Hey, it's Russell. Russell's in the house. It's story time, Russell. I'm sharing a story from college. Shelby was trying to figure out what medium to use, and it reminded me of this story. It was in 1986, and I had a instructor by the name of John Lincoln, and it was early in the morning, and we were all in this. Use colored pencils, and we were all in the classroom, and he came in, and he was quite eccentric of a guy, and he was trying to reach for something to draw with, and somebody said, "Hey, why don't you use that blueberry muffin?" And of course, him being eccentric, he picked that blueberry muffin up and started to try and draw with it, just to, just to do it. So that was pretty funny. So yeah, I would go with the colored pencils. So that sounds pretty good. Anyways, there you go. That's my story. It's too bad that we all couldn't tell stories. Sit around and draw and tell stories. That would be a hoot. Okay, let's see what I do over here. Okay. All right. Well, let's start this off with a good greeting here. Hi, my name's Kurt, and I'm a dad who loves to draw. Actually, I'm a dad who draws, but I actually do love drawing. So I'm a dad who draws, and this is our Wednesday night live, where every Wednesday night we come right here at this time and draw a human head. We practice portraiture, and we have a great Facebook group. There is a link down below for that. And also there is a link for a free PDF that has 10 sketchbook habits that every artist should be implementing. And it's something I've put together with habits that I've formed over the years, and they have served me well. So take a look at that if you haven't gotten that. You could also use that link to subscribe to A Dad Who Draws, the website. And I send out regular emails of tricks and tips and announcements and opening classes coming and going. So yeah, that's what we got. Next week, March 1st, we are going to start a brand new class. It's called the Beginner's Workshop. And the date might be a little bit fuzzy, but I am going to try and launch that by the 1st. So you could check for that. There might be some discounted prices on the website, but nonetheless, that's coming March 1st. And we also have one other class that is excellent called the Daily Draw. The Daily Draw is we get together for 15 minutes a day and bang out all kinds of different subject matter. Monday, we hit on things that are natural. Tuesday, we hit on things that are man-made. Wednesday, we go into greater detail with the human head. Thursday is character design, and Friday is animals or living creatures or beings. So that's the Daily Draw, and you can also check that out as well. There are links down in the description. Okay, that's all the business. We are done with that. I do ask, if you are watching this, please give it a thumbs up. I never say that, so give it a thumbs up. Give me a comment in there, and all that good stuff, all that YouTube stuff. Okay. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Any questions? Let me just check. Oh, look at that. Captain Pyrite's in the house with the blueberry muffin drawing. Yes, that was a good story. So let's see what else we have here. Okay, excellent. We are ready to start. So tonight we also had a vote today. This is the portrait we're going to draw here. And I'm going to go over that very in good detail of how we're going to accomplish that. But let's come back to review some of the basics, because we never know who is new to the channel or who's new coming in to the broadcast here, and it's always great to review. So when we draw portraits, I like to approach it with three different ways to start it. All right, so that doesn't help. Okay. So first thing what we want to do is to think of the 2D axis. That means what we're looking for is the which way is the head leaning? Is it leaning to the right or to the left? And we can indicate that with a straight line. The next thing we want to do, let's draw the head again right here, and there it's leaning. We want to determine, is that head coming forward or is the head coming back? So that would be the 3D axis. Is it coming towards us or going back? So let's make this one come towards us, and we're going to indicate that with a small arrow like that. This little dot means it's the top of the head. If it was just the opposite, if it was turning away from us, then we would draw it like this. And you don't need to draw these arrow points. These are just to indicate that with the direction of where that is facing. This little dot at the bottom here, that indicates the bottom of the head. Okay. So once we have the 2D axis, this is number 1. Then we get into number 2. And the last thing we have to determine, all right, let's get this down here like this. All right. Last thing is where along the brow line, and the brow line is going to be kind of like this. Where along the brow line is our face? So if our face is right there, then we know that the face is going in this direction. The face might be over on this side, and it might be looking at it that way. So number 3 is face direction. Okay, so we've got 2D, and let me just demonstrate that to you. If I had the pen up here, this would be 2D, goes back and forth like this. If we determine the head is right here, then 3D might be coming this way. See, it's still on that 2D axis. And let's determine that the head is pointing this way. And then the face direction, where is the face pointing? You see that? So those are our three different things we've got to determine. All right, let's look at one other thing too. Let's look at these 3. This is an interesting, all right, cranium. Then we also look at the jawline. And then we look at the brow line. Oops. What do I mean by that? So this would be the cranium. This would be the jawline where it comes around. And then we get the brow line. And then we could put our center line right there. Let's try that again over here. We have the cranium. This is going to be the brow line. And then we have the center line. Okay. Cranium. Jawline. There's the center line. Brow line. Okay? So, this is the cranium, jawline, and then the brow line. And when we're going to draw the jawline, we've got to remember our ear is coming here, and we're going to drop it down ever so slightly, and then we're going to sweep it around, okay? We're going to sweep it around. Let's try another set of those here really quick. All right, so let's go through this step by step, all right? We get our cranium, our round sphere. We've determined that it is slightly leaning back. We also determined that it is going back in space. So we're going to, there's our brow line. And then we're going to use our center line right here. So let's see, we're going to do a 2D, 3D, face, where the face goes. Then I'm going to say go find the temple. The temples are these marks right here. You can feel them. They're right here. These are what we would call landmarks. From this temple forward here, we slice off that part of the head. So in a sense, that piece is falling this way. You see that? I just sliced this off of the so this becomes very flat. Oops. This should also be parallel. Oop, not quite. There it is. These should all be parallel. So this is the side of our head. All right, let's drop down that right side there. Drop this down just a little bit here, because this is going to curve around and create our jawline. So what do we have here? Our temple. Then you could go with your jaw and your brow line. All right. In this little section, in this bottom quadrant right here, usually the ear will go here. And then up here this is when we can start to draw in the visor. This is where this is the part that protects the eyes. And then it comes out. Drops down. This is where your nose is going to rest. Your eyes are going to fall in here. Barrel of the mouth curves around, and then your chin. This jaw here usually will line up like this. And let's look at, as long as we're here, let's look at some basic proportions here, okay? There's our center line. Okay. our brow line. Usually this can be, you could usually do this in thirds here. This is going to be our mouth, because the corners of your mouth are going to line up with your jaw. I'm sorry, corners of your mouth. Your mouth is going to line up with the corners of your jaw. This is going to be your mouth. That usually lines up with pupils of your eye. You usually have 3 eye widths. And I'm going to erase this. I'm going to erase something real quick here so I can show you. This is the your nose, and the wings, the outside part of the wings of your nose lines up with the inside part of your eye. And usually the bottom part of your nose will line up with your ears. Those are some rough measurements. Chin and your barrel of the mouth. Those are rough measurements. Any questions on any of that? Hopefully I didn't go too fast, but you get the gist of that, right? All right. Let's take a look at our photo here. Ooh, you know what I did not do? I did not post that in the Facebook group. So let me do that really quick here. Hold on, it will only take me a second. All right, let me pop that in there. Oh, look at that. Is Chris online? No. All right, let's see here. Where do we got? All right, I'm going to post this into our Facebook group here. Sorry about that. All right. Okay, that's posted in Facebook. All right, let's go. Let's get back to work here. Okay, so, all right, let's take a look at this face. I do want to show you one thing on this that is really important that I want you to be aware of, is this tendon. Do you see this? Let's see. Oh. This tendon right here, you see that? Right down here, typically you have the pit of the neck, and then this tendon helps to turn the head. And I think it's called the stochastic mastoid. I can't remember. I never remembered any of those things. But that's something you really want to be aware of, because that believe it or not, that really helps to tell us what we're looking at. And without it, it will look kind of strange. It also serves as a great straight line for us to work from. So anyways, let's go ahead and make some other determinations before we jump into this. And I want to point out a couple things too. We always want to take time and determine the position of the temple, the two temples. So one's going to be here and one is going to be up here. You see that? So that tells us that she is leaning in that direction. So as we use our guides throughout this whole piece, we want to make sure everything is in the front of the face. At least our guides are all following in that general direction there. Next, we can see from here down toward the top of the ear. Okay, so that tells us that we're looking up at her. You see that? So if I was going to try and draw this, I could draw it either traditional or not traditional, the way that we just kind of spoke of, that her she's leaning a little bit this way. She's leaning this way, and she's turning away from us a little bit. So there's one temple, and there's the other. And then this is coming down. You see that? Just by looking at those temples, I can determine what direction she's facing. So generally, I could just start to build her face out almost like it was a square. So this is really, really important that you're able to quickly ascertain the direction of a head. This is probably one of the most important things too, because once you have this in place, then this gives you the foundation or the guidelines to start to build upon. Without this, your whole building starts to fall apart. Yeah, let's use we could use the box method on this. Yeah. So it's Shelby, I go back and forth. Sometimes I use the box, sometimes I use more round. It all depends. But that is what you want to use. It's like you want to use whatever tools you have in order to get the job done. And sometimes you'll use spheres. Sometimes you will just use boxes. Okay, so I'm going to erase this, and we're going to, because I wanted to draw this a little bit bigger. That's a little bit small for me. All right, let's go ahead and get going on this. All right, so let's start off with, I'm going to start off with a nice big oval sphere. So there's my sphere, and she is leaning forward a little bit, and she is also going backwards a little bit because I could see the underside of her jaw. And let's get this angle. I'm going to get this angle right. All right. Center of her face. I'm going to cut off the side of this round skull there. These sides will taper in just a little bit. All right, so let's kind of come in here now and get some determination. I'm going to use her, I'm going to put her ear in here and kind of use that as my proportion to get the rest of the face right. And I'm drawing lightly. And then that tendon that we were talking about is coming down like this. Okay. Let's think about this visor, how this visor is going to look here. Again, this is the direction I want to take. I'm drawing lightly. Her nose. This is going to come down. It's going to follow the surface. Okay, now I'm going to just stop for a minute and take a look at what I got here. Because I got my underdrawing. This is coming straight over here. Now this could also be considered a nice gesture. I'm still it's being drawn light, so I'm still able to make some decisions as we go along. And I've changed my mind. I think this angle is too steep here, so that means I'm gonna have to kind of make some adjustments on the whole thing. That looks much better. And I'm going to go ahead and pop her eyeballs in here. Keep them nice and light. I'm going to put her nose in here. And I'm going to start with a keystone shape. All of this is construction. You want to master in construction. Okay, now look at this. This is interesting. Look at the corners of her mouth. So one corner's over there and one's up here. So I have this angle. I want to make sure I get that angle right, okay? And that angle is going to follow this same trajectory. Center of her mouth is there, so I want to make sure that I'm shifting it. So like if I was looking at her mouth straight on, it would be something like this. But since we're looking at her mouth from an angle, still the same points there. It goes like this. Do you see the difference there? All right, let's continue on here. So this little part of her lips, I could see is very minor, very small amount. But I want to make sure that this bump, I'm going to mark this over here. I'm going to call this A. Oh, that's not a good color. There you go. This A is higher than B. You see that? There are slightly difference in heights. So I'm going to want to really play that up here. And then look how close, look at this here. Look how quickly that breaks down. That breaks down so fast. And let me just change the color here. Look how quickly that breaks down there, where from here, it has a long slope. We definitely want to be respectful of that and get that right. we want to trust what we see and not what we think. And then this is almost a straight line coming across here. And then we get the thickness of our bottom lip there. And then it just kind of fades up here. Okay, she's looking off. She's definitely looking off to her right. So let's get those pupils in place. And then let's get her nose. Let's put some definition in her nose here. This is the that front edge, and look how close. Look at this right there. Look how this just curves around and almost turns into a hook. You see that? So this is going to come around. She has her wing of the nose right there. And then we can see the other wing just slightly coming around on the other side there. All right, let's go ahead and get some of these eyes in here. Again, this is the relationship. I'm looking to start with the right eye. I'm looking at this to that. Okay. Oop, wrong color. So I'm going to come up, and then this is going to be the other side there, and I'm going to want to wrap that around. I'm going to wrap that around, thinking I'm going around the eyeball. And let's do the same thing to the other side here. We're going to come up and we're going to wrap it around. And she has some nice eyelashes going on here. And then let's get this in here, this fold here, and you can see it going on just like that. And then her other lower eye, it's like coming from around. You see that? Watch. Comes around the eye. And then we get a little bit of an edge here. And then on the top here, look at this. There we go. It's coming in just like that. Let's Let's now work on this other one here. How are we looking there? Good. Okay. That eyelid's coming in here. And I'm going to look at now in my mind, I'm looking at this negative shape. You see that? I'm looking for that negative shape. And this eyebrow, penciled in eyebrow, where is it? Let's take a measurement here and see where this is lining up. Okay, look at that. It comes right through her nostril, almost right to the peak of her lip right there. So let's get that lined up accurately. So it's coming right through here. All right, I'm going to go right there with it. Okay. And it looks like my eye is a little bit to the far right, but that's okay. I'm going to leave it right where it's at. How about what's going on here? All right, so we've got this coming in here. All right, let's get this nostril. Mine is a little bit slightly off. Okay. And then I'm just going to lightly tone the bottom of her nose slightly. All right, let's get this other eyebrow in. Oops. If you have any comments or questions, just I'm checking the chat. So let me take a look, a long distance look at this thing. Okay. It's always nice to stand back from your work, and I'm going to tone in the top part of these lips. It's like solving a puzzle almost, you know? You're always solving a mystery. You're looking for clues. You're given a limited amount of facts. Oh, this is quite nice actually. Look at this here. I like this. Look at that chin, how it comes up like that. Do you see that? So if we come down, look, there's this beautiful straight line here. Let me show you this. There's almost a straight line there. You see that? So let's get that angle right. Okay. And then her chin is going to come in here. And I'm making slight adjustments here. A little bit of shadow here. Okay. Let's get this cheek back here next. So for this cheek, I'm really looking closely at what is this shape going on here? Okay. That's what I'm looking at. Ooh. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to roll with that one. Corners of her mouth are a little bit darker. Excellent. All right, let's take a look at this now. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of tone in here. A little bit of tone in there. That looks good. A little bit of tone over on this side as well. All right, carrying on. You feel like your Shelby, you feel like your face looks too shrunk up in the left-hand corner. And it might be. Well, keep going. Keep chugging forward, and then put your face in the place it in Facebook tomorrow, and I'll draw on top of it. We'll take a look at it, okay? All right, so let's continue on here. Let's try and determine the distance of where our ear is lining up. And I think mine is too far back here. Let me just squint my eyes. Yeah, I think mine's too far back. Making adjustments as we go along. All right, let's take a look at this ear here. It's kind of going in this angle. Nice thing about ears is that, boy, you could really get away with a lot because no one looks at an ear and says, "Oh, that's Mary's ear," no, because it looks so odd. Unless you had a one of those ears where you were boxing as a kid or something, and a cauliflower ear, then you got to draw it right, or someone's gonna say, "Hey, that doesn't look like Bob's ear, right?" All right, let's get some hair on her now. So she has this hair coming on this side, and when I draw hair, I like to think of it more like I'm almost setting a mass of clay on top of her skull. All right, and I'm even going to kind of come in here with a straight line here. Come all the way back like this. So I can start off with a mass, okay? All right, we got that. And coming down here now. Now, here's something interesting, and this happens quite a bit actually, is I determined at the very beginning a certain angle for my head, and I've stuck with that despite where I see the face right now in the photograph, and I realized that I've angled mine too far down, but it's consistent. Everything is angled too far down. So what that means is I can actually slightly adjust it and get a much more accurate. Now you could have done this with paper if you wanted to. Let's move these guys down just a little bit. All right, let's continue on. All right, let's look at this hair here and try and see what we could do with this hair before our time is up. All right, I'm thinking of it in batches. All right, so we've got this. It looks like she has this hair coming up here. It kind of fades out, and I'm thinking of it in not as strands, but of mass. All right. And then let's get this tendon down here. All right. Getting this underside here. Okay. Short's coming over here. Underneath side of her chin here. Necklace. Boy, this hair just is getting the best of me here. All right, I'm going to just tone it in. Give me a quick overall tone in the whole thing here. That will definitely help. And let's get in here now and get some more detail. She's kind of concerned. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm glad those aren't my kids. She's thinking, boy, if I caught my kids doing that. All right, how are we doing there? Okay, great. Look at that. She has this great little freckle right there. That's a great sign that we need to drop that in. All right, let's go ahead and get some more tone here. Yep. Gotta look to think of where the light is hitting. It's going to be hitting on her cheek there. Always remember that it's perseverance. It's perseverance, not talent. You've got to persevere. Okay. All right, let's keep. All I'm doing right now is just squinting my eyes and keep adding darker values to help determine what's going on there, huh? Okay. I'm gonna come back in mine and just erase some of these, just kind of lighten some of these guidelines up. Now, if you were going to paint this, the whole thing with painting is it's all about edges. Edges is it a soft edge or is it a hard edge? You know, in drawing we can also use that same idea in some places to help to really sell the form of our painting or of our drawing. hair is definitely comes down here just a little bit. And then this green blouse has a bit of a tone to it. So I'm going to put that in as well. She has a little bit of a shirt down here coming in. All right. How's that looking for everyone back there, huh? Okay, you struggled with this one. Okay, Shelby, that's okay. But if I'm going to let me just draw a little something up here. I'm going to put this on a different layer. But if you at this early stage, if you simply get the idea of this, this is what you're going for, is to really just get that basic shape. Okay. All the other features, they will come with time, and the only way to get those in place is to keep going forward. The minute that you quit, and I'm not saying you're quitting or anything like that, but the minute that you end up quitting, you freeze your place wherever you are in time. All right. Well, just post your drawing. Let me see it tomorrow, and I will take a look at it. Okay. Okay. Any other questions before we call it a night? All right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up, I think. My name is Kurt, and this has been our Wednesday Night Live. I hope you enjoyed that. And I will see you tomorrow in our Facebook group. Good. I'm glad quitting isn't an option. It's not. Listen, quitting is not an option for me too. So that makes two of us. All right, everyone. You have a good evening, and I will see you tomorrow. All right. Great job. This is Kurt. I'm a dad who draws. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.